What if your biggest enemy isn't laziness, but your own imagination? Daydreaming might be the silent trap ruining your focus, one fake victory at a time. The truth behind this mental addiction is darker than you think. Stick around, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights. You've probably done it this week, maybe even today. You sat there, eyes open, but mind somewhere else. In your head, you crushed the gym, launched that dream business, had the perfect conversation, the ideal comeback. For a moment, it felt real. It felt like you were finally becoming something more. And that feeling, that quick hit of confidence and clarity, that was your brain giving you a reward for doing absolutely nothing. This is the first hidden trap. You're not just relaxing, you're simulating success. And your brain doesn't care if it's imagined or earned. It treats both the same. It releases the same feel-good chemicals and gives you the same sense of satisfaction. Except this time, there's no result behind it. So you get this high from thinking about progress, and suddenly, you feel proud, like something changed, but nothing did. You didn't take a step forward, you just created a movie in your mind and tricked yourself into believing it mattered. Now here's where things get dangerous. Your brain learns fast. If it figures out it can get the reward without doing the uncomfortable thing, without facing risk, failure, or effort, it'll keep chasing that shortcut. The more you do it, the easier it gets. Daydream, feel good, repeat. Over time, this becomes a habit, not of dreaming big, but of substituting fantasy for follow-through. And you start to feel like you're always preparing, always building. But deep down, you're stuck. You're not moving. And the more you repeat the loop, the more it becomes your new normal. It's not laziness, it's not fear, it's a reward system gone off track. Your mind starts to choose imagination over action because imagination feels safer, and it pays faster. But here's the twist. That feeling you chase, it doesn't last. Once the fantasy ends and the silence sets in, you're left with something heavier than before. Not just guilt, but the sinking sense that you're falling behind. That while you were daydreaming, the real opportunity passed you by. And that's just the beginning. When fantasy becomes your safe zone. At first, the dreams were fuel. They gave you direction. You used to imagine a better future to push yourself forward. But somewhere along the way, those dreams became a shield. Now, instead of motivation, your imagination is a hiding place. You visit this perfect version of your life, not to plan, but to escape. Because reality, it doesn't follow the script. In real life, your plans get ignored, your efforts go unnoticed. You fail in public, you wait longer than you want. It's not smooth, not pretty, not always fair. And when that starts feeling too heavy, you retreat to the one place where everything still goes right, your mind. There, you're never awkward, you're never behind, you always win. You feel powerful, respected, even admired, but only in theory. And slowly, without meaning to, you fall in love with that version of yourself. Not the real you, but the imagined one. The one who always knows what to say, always gets it right. You start worshiping that identity, but never risk becoming it. Because here's the scary part. Trying means testing it, and testing it means discovering you might not live up to the dream. So instead, you protect it. You polish the story, rewrite the scenes, and convince yourself you'll step into it soon. But soon never comes. And deep down, that fantasy begins to hurt. It used to be inspiring, but now it feels like a lie. You keep imagining the same glow-up, the same big moment, but nothing changes. And slowly, that perfect version becomes a reminder of everything you're not. Eventually, the dream doesn't lift you, it crushes you. Not because it's impossible, but because it's never been tested. And instead of fueling your drive, it starts stealing your belief. But if you're still watching, it means you haven't given up yet. That buried under the fear, there's still a spark. Now it's time to rebuild. The identity gap and silent shame. You know exactly who you want to be. You've read the books, watched the videos, made the plans, the vision is crystal clear. But here's the problem. You're not living it, you're rehearsing it. You've become really good at knowing what to do, just not doing it. You wake up with that blueprint in your mind and go right back to the same habits, same distractions, same delays. That gap, the space between who you are and who you keep pretending you'll become, isn't just uncomfortable. It's where shame lives. It's that moment when you scroll past someone actually doing what you dreamed of. And it stings. Not because they're better, but because deep down, you know you could have been that person too. If only you moved. You don't even have to fail to feel the pain. The silence is worse. It's watching time pass while your potential stays locked inside ideas and good intentions. But here's the switch. You don't cross that gap by thinking your way across. You move through it one awkward, clumsy step at a time. Not when you're confident, not when you feel ready, right now. Because action creates identity, not the other way around. You don't become the person you admire by visualizing them. You become them by doing what they would do, even when you feel nothing like them. That first uncomfortable move, sending that email, finishing that draft, stepping outside the comfort bubble, it's more than progress. It's proof. Proof that you're not a memory of potential, that you're not stuck in a role you never got to play. And when you collect that proof, even one tiny piece, the identity gap shrinks. You don't have to become the full version today, but you do have to break the loop that's keeping you in rehearsal in them. How your brain got hijacked. Your brain isn't trying to sabotage you. It's doing exactly what it was trained to do. It rewards what it thinks is progress. The problem is, you've been rewarding it for imagination, not movement. Every time you visualize success and walk away feeling inspired, your brain logs it as a win. It gives you that little chemical rush, that subtle feeling of, I'm on my way. But nothing's been built, nothing's changed. You just got a high for thinking. And over time, this rewires your system. It begins to crave those easy hits. So when you sit down to actually work, no dopamine, no thrill, no fireworks, your brain rebels. This doesn't feel good. This feels flat. This must not be the right time. So you close the laptop, you scroll, you rewatch something that makes you feel productive but changes nothing. That's how high potential people get stuck for years, not because they don't care, not because they don't know how, but because their brain got comfortable rewarding effort that never existed. And you know what's wild? You probably felt more accomplished building the fantasy than doing the real thing. Because the fantasy was clean, exciting, full of momentum. The real thing? It's slow, it's awkward, it's quiet, but that's the key to retraining your brain. You can't overwrite this loop with a vision board or positive self-talk. You have to rewire it with proof, one uncomfortable action at a time, and not the kind that goes viral or feels impressive. Start small, 10 minutes, one tough message, one move that doesn't make you feel powerful, just real. When your brain starts getting its reward from motion, not mental simulation, everything changes. Because now you're feeding it something sustainable, something true, something that builds confidence from action, not imagination. That's the real comeback. Not a rush of energy, but a rewiring of effort and reward. The shift from fantasy to friction. The real turning point? It's not dramatic. It won't look like a movie scene. It's quiet, lonely even. You're sitting there, no motivation, no plan. Just that ache that your life doesn't match who you are. That's the moment you choose. One small, real act. For me, it was opening a notes app and writing 3 lines. Not brilliant, not polished, but real. That was the night I stopped imagining and started building. And that's what you need. Not perfection, just presence. You've seen the vision, felt the pull, lived the dream version of yourself over and over. But none of it matters until you act. The fantasy won't wait forever. And if you keep putting it off, you'll mourn someone who never even existed. So here's the challenge. What's one thing you can do right now? Not plan, not visualize, move. Drop it in the comments. And if you're serious about rewiring your mind and breaking free from overthinking, watch the next video. It might be the shift you've been waiting for, without even realizing it.